realize you're not supposed to talk when I first say that, right, Hades?
Oh.
Yeah, because I'm playing an intro video at the start. Everyone's supposed to be quiet while it goes because our mics are still running. So while the video is going, everyone just heard you fucking talking, saying something. It was lost over the drone of the intro, but it's still there. It's audible. Thanks for fucking
Should
that up.
we try
Nope,
again?
nope, too late now. We're live, motherfuckers.
God damn it, Hades.
Okay, so welcome to the next episode of Final Fantasy D6 Chronicles of Eno, ladies and gentlemen. I am your game master, as always, Skajarmas, otherwise known as Tone Shift. With me today, we have Hades Shadow 92, playing our male human Dark Knight Thanatos.
I done fucked up.
Yes, you did. We have Luminous Starlight, who is playing as our female cyborg chocobo warrior, Rocket. Whee! And lastly, we have a Tom 117Z playing our female Elvon, or something, I forget which one I used. Our Ranger.
I am the cross-dresser of RP.
Hidden elf.
I genuinely am forgetting if I used the word Elezen or Elvon for this setting. I do not remember. It should be on your
You
character.
use Elvon.
Okay, you're an Elvon. Good to know. Now, Darkness, who plays our human paladin Alistair, will not be joining us at first. He seemed to have missed the summons. We're trying to get a hold of him, but until such a time as he openly rejoins the session, I will be taking control of his character and not speaking, so Alistair is going to be quiet for a little while. One quick order of business I just kind of want to go through really quick. I think this is kind of like a soft announcement of sorts. This Final Fantasy D6 campaign, I already mentioned this on Jibber Jabber, but these videos go up on a different channel. I'm making an RPG Maker game that is a direct adaptation of this campaign. And so far I've managed to get up to the end of the Cultist Dungeon session, so making good progress on that. It's been 3 weeks since our last session, so due to a wide range of issues, largely having to do with scheduling, but hooray, we're back now! So, with all of that said, let me go ahead and swap out my music here and get you guys to world map again, where you left off. And we can get this.
Ignore this. First thing I see.
Oh yeah, that's right. I have that big thing that because the scale doesn't quite match up at this point. It not as I would like it. Okay, and all right, we have our exploration music going. So, to recap where we last left off with all of you, your party had set off from the port city of Marasu, which, as you recall, has been afflicted with this terrible plague for as long as you've been here, several days now. You ventured out of the city and up into the foothills around the Marasan Mountains in the hopes of locating a group of plague cultists, individuals who believe that this infection, this lethal plague, those who survive it are given some sort of divine gift of enlightenment or something to that effect. They want to spread the infection to everyone they can, and to do this, took barrels filled with infected matter and material to try and dunk it at the base of the river that flows out of this mountain and through the city of Marasu, essentially poisoning the city's water supply and rendering everyone there susceptible to infection. You went after them, and after a brief scuffle with the Hycenaguan, who had broken down most of the barrels already, you managed to catch up with the remainder of the enemy, and after a intense conflict, were able to take all but one of them down, and you let the last one, who was mortally wounded, go. After that, Neothil, who had been acting very blunt, cold, and short-tempered the entire day since waking up after camping that night, she confided in Thanatos as to why she has been so ill-tempered that day, and just unloaded a lot of her own baggage, so to speak. Thanatos listened to it, gave his 2 cents, and after some talking back and forth, the party got back to work, destroyed the last barrel of contents, and where we last left off, you were watching as the barrel filled with infected matter burned into ashes. That is where we last left off. And so that is where we shall pick up. The flames are still raging in front of you. You're all still staring at it. What do you wish to do?
Good stuff.
I gotta change the laundry real quick.
Okay. So essentially, Rocket just all of a sudden, like, one of her eyes goes dark and her head just lowers, and she's going into a soft reboot while Lumina's doing that. just like her operating system encountered a little error. It's like, oh shit, we have a software update. We should take care of this. Like, no.
Oh, she's running on Windows 10. Right.
Something like that.
Oh my goodness.
For one reason or another, she's just gonna until Lumina gets back.
So now we're down a
okay,
chocobo and a paladin. There we go.
Yeah, Alistair's just kind of checking her over, looking for what the hell's wrong.
So the scene is still middle of the day. Oh, hello, darkness. Speaking of,
Testing. Hello.
About fucking time!
What the fuck have
Sorry,
you been?
man.
by chance, did you forget?
No, my fucking phone was buggering up, and the bloody fucking power went out for a while in my house.
Ah,
But now it's up and
okay.
running.
That
Sorry
explains.
so
Blackout.
very much.
All right.
Oh god, I had a heart attack and running all over the place.
Okay, that's a good reason to be late. All right, we can accept this. Roll 20 link is in our Discord chat. Go ahead, grab that. Hop in. Darkness, ladies and gentlemen. Our paladin is here. A couple minutes late,
Yep.
but he is here. To catch you up, Darkness, on what you just missed, I just got done doing the intro, so you haven't missed much. In essence, I just got done recapping for the audience everything that's happened up to this point, and you're all still standing around the fire with the last bit of infected material that you started at the end of the last session, with Neothil still having this kind of 1,000-yard stare, and Rocket just had a brief little power down, like her mechanical eye went dark and her head just kind of bowed, and she's not moving.
She's having an update.
Alright.
And that's there to help explain the fact that Lumina's AFK for the moment. So
Ah,
So-
I see.
now that we've gotten that out of the way, what do y'all wish to do?
Well, right now, Neothil is just kind of silent because she's still not exactly all emotionally there.
Right.
As to me, I'm just quickly powering up my bloody PC, and luckily everything's working all right because this power cut happened as soon as I was on my PC, but it seems to be working fine, luckily.
Well, if you
No
suddenly
damage.
all right, well, if you suddenly disappear, we'll know why.
Hmm. Well,
this
apparently it's all
session's
sorted
starting
out now.
Great.
The thing that went was the fuse,
Hmm.
but now that's been replaced. But anyway,
All right.
So,
So Neothil's just kind of staring. Everyone else?
hmm.
I honestly don't know, considering I'm really the only one apparently that's not either depressed or even.
So I'm
Damn.
just catching my breath back. My character's just still wondering what he faced a few days
All right.
and how he's still alive.
I suppose we should start heading back to the city.
Hmm.
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay, everyone, get ready to move out. We mustn't delay anymore.
Rocket
Well,
is-
Rocket's still.
Rocket's unresponsive.
Ah. Okay. Maybe we wait to walk it.
Yeah, let's kind of wait till that goes and just.
Somehow, I think this is one thing we're not including in the game.
Probably not.
We're nothing if not efficient at starting these things.
Oh, yeah.
It's been 3 weeks. Cut us some slack.
Yes. And I wasn't expecting this on the day I return.
Yeah.
Ah.
I don't think any of us were.
So,
Perhaps, Brian, you should take control of Rocket till Luminia gets back.
Ah.
All right, then. After a couple moments, her eye flickers back on, and she lifts her head, looks at you all, opens her mouth to say something, and nothing comes out. She kind of looks confused, looks down at her beak for a second, opens her mouth again. This time, a normal vocalization, a squeak comes out. And then she tries saying something again, and there's nothing.
It really is a Windows 10 update. It broke something.
Oh no.
All right.
Poor little Rocket.
All right. Well, come on, guys. Let's start heading back.
She's looking a little uncomfortable, kind of occasionally reaching up her non-mechanical leg to scratch at her chin a little bit, and, at her throat, like, hey, come on, say something. But, not making any progress.
So we all heading backwards to Marasu?
Yep. It's shortly after noon at this point, around 1 p.m., and as we all recall, you left the city at around the same time last time, and you had to camp to get there, so to get all the way back to Marasu from where you are, it's gonna probably be, it's gonna be in the night by the time you get back if you decide not to camp.
Well then.
Well, our way back we'll be at the same cave, so we can probably
Same little
do the same. Yeah.
outcropping, overhang type thing, all right?
Hey,
Oh,
Hey,
oh,
Rocket, speaking.
Hey.
Yep, all right. So all of a sudden, like, as she's scratching at her chin, suddenly her voice comes out. It's like, hey, come on. Oh, there we go. For Rocket, for context for you, as you're watching at the flame, suddenly your operating system did a sudden reboot, and when you came back to a couple seconds later, your voice wasn't quite working, and you scratched at your throat for a minute, and now you're able to talk again.
okay.
All right, just to get some context going. All right. So, everyone's finally together, 14 minutes in.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
All right.
according to my recording software, it's closer to 12. Yeah, it's 12 minutes and 18 seconds. Okay.
13 for me, but okay.
All right.
Whichever. Onwards.
Yep. So, everyone's heading back to Marasu?
Yes.
Well, you begin to make the trip back for the city, heading back down to the same trail you followed. It's pretty much the same. Nothing bothers you on the way. The sun moves through the sky and more clouds begin to move in. Looks like it might rain, or considering the low temperatures, it might even snow tonight. Hard to tell.
Well, winter is coming.
Yeah, that it is. Eventually, the sun starts to set on the horizon as you're getting to about the same... You're past the point you were at last time. You're well and truly past that point. Because last time you stopped at the end of the travels or at the end of the day, and then you only went on for like another hour or so to catch up with the cultists, so you only had to walk an hour to get to where you camped last night, and so another 7 hours you're at a completely different spot when the sun's going down. And Marasu isn't quite in visible range yet, largely because of all of the terrain around you. Spires, a lot of rock is hanging out around you. White stones kind of jutting up out of the ground amidst the grass and occasional tree. But yeah, sun is starting to set. Clouds are rolling in. Temperature is dropping. How do you wish to proceed at this point? Keep moving through the night or camp? Or some other action that I had not considered because I'm the game master and I never can.
Oh, we should probably do the option of camping because it's nighttime, and traveling at night is seldom a good idea.
Need to get a cave.
All right.
We would need to find some shelter.
All right.
It would not be safe being out in the open.
In that case, everyone make survival checks.
Yeah, it would be helpful if I brought up my character sheet, wouldn't it?
Don't worry, I'm just slowly getting there. I just need to click on the...
Right, so you say survival check.
Yeah.
I don't think we have that.
No.
I think that's nature.
I don't think we...
Yeah, we don't have a survival field, though.
Guys, that's right.
Yes, it's me. Now signed in. There you go.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, nature. That'll work. Nature checks, everyone.
hmm.
Sorry, I had to reference the rule book. I've been playing a lot of D&D 5e and not FF56 over the last few weeks, so. Well.
And the ranger fucks it up again.
Again. Thank you, Dice.
You'll find it.
Much help.
You find it free.
No, I think Annie's still got out of it, so she isn't entirely concentrating on the present scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
She just wants to go to sleep.
Hopefully she can sleep this time.
Rocket, Alistair, nature checks.
Yep. Alright, now I'm here.
I'm working on it.
All right.
Ow. Nature check. Will be help sheet as well.
We are professionals, people.
Totally. Without question. Oh.
Right, note to self. For the meanwhile,
You have a robot eye, you're cheating.
Yeah, robot eye.
Whoa! Nice rocket. I don't think I'd be able to beat that. I'll give it a shot. Here we go. Finally, my sheet. And it is. Oh, none for nature. So it's just 2d6. Yep, I won't be able to beat you, Rocket. But I'll give it a shot.
I mean, you could be if you get 2 6s.
Watch it. He gets a critical.
The chances of me getting a critical is
What's
1
that?
to 12.
We've all done it before.
Yeah, but I say I got lucky in the
Let the
combat.
dice decide.
See?
No, you got one of them. You got 1 6.
And 1-1. All right. All right. Well,
Yeah.
there isn't quite as much cover in this area as there was when you were walking right by the river with those cliff faces on either side of you. It's more open now, so there aren't as many places for shelter, but luckily Rocket, tapping into some of her animalistic instinct, is able to find a spot that, she's reasonably confident that if you're all kind of huddled together enough will provide shelter for the whole group based on current wind conditions. Won't be perfect cover, but it'll be sufficient, hopefully.
Are you saying we get to cuddle Rocket?
I mean, if you want and if she allows it. That's up to you guys.
I will ask the permission. Oh, I would rather ask permission than just hug away.
I mean, she seemed pretty okay with hugs before, so.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I think he's just gonna hop up a tree, find a decent branch, and just make
Yeah.
yourself comfortable on that.
She's just gonna be an elf. Okay.
There, I'm not going to necessitate any rolls on that. I'll just say you do it because you have time to focus.
Yeah.
All right. Well, following that, as the sun finally dips below the horizon and the cloud cover obscures the heavens, plunging everything into a kind of oppressive darkness, you get a campfire going. It gives you some warmth amidst the biting and frigid chill of the night. You can see your own breath condensing in the air. It's quite gloomy. Who's taking first watch?
Well, I'm in the tree.
Let's say Nee is in the tree, so let's.
All right, so I don't mind being second, I suppose. If he wants to go first, we'll watch. If that makes any sense.
Alright, so Nee, Alicia, then Thanatos Rocket.
Sure.
Yeah,
All right.
sounds the plan.
All right. So, the rest of you trundle off and get comfortable as much as you can. Sleep soon takes you. Neothil, I need you to roll an awareness check for your watch.
Let's say she's a little distracted, so hopefully nothing sneaks up.
Fuck. Hold on, dash roll 2d6 plus 4. There you go. Fuck. 7.
Nothing stands out to you out of the ordinary, but again, you're not all there. Your mind's kind of wandering a little.
Hmm.
All right. Second watch. Awareness check.
Alicia.
Mm-hmm.
Darkness.
He's slow with rolls. Give him a moment. Alicia, roll your dice.
I can hear something on the end of his mic.
There we go. Sorry, I had to switch from my phone to a PC.
You're rolling awareness check.
Got it. Okay. Awareness +4. 2d6 is +4. Okay.
We really need shortcut keys.
Yeah, we do.
Hmm.
I think Roll20 comes with user macros or something, so maybe we can do something with that at some point.
2d6s.
Please. 4.
Cuatro.
4.
Bollocks. I've got other
Put
way
the
around.
slash in the wrong place.
Slash roll.
It's been 3 weeks. I'm
I mean,
rusty already.
You did it before.
I know. No, I did that with the other dice. Program
There's no
thing.
different dice here. You just
You
Still D6. Same
The
command.
auto one, whatever you call it.
there is no auto one.
Well, actually, there is an auto roll. You see that icon in the left on the toolbar,
There we
the
go.
left,
Oh.
that looks like a dodecahedron. If you click that, it'll pull up a dice roller menu that you can adjust manually.
Yep, that's done.
You got a 12.
12 for Alistar's watch.
I got a 12.
Nice. Nothing
Ow.
eventful happens on your watch. Pretty uneventful. Onwards to Thanatos' watch. Roll me awareness.
Shit.
Ow. I fucking hate cables.
That's +3. Okay. 9.
Okay. So,
Uh-oh.
the night
Don't worry, guys.
The night carries on. It's getting colder. Snow starts to fall from the sky as your night carries on. You look up. It's pretty light, and it's not quite cold enough to stick right now, so it's just kind of, it hits the ground and immediately melts, but you're getting some snowfall. You pull your cloak a little tighter around yourself.
It's fucking cold.
It's completely silent. You're not even hearing, like, the wind anymore. If I could have everyone except Thanatos deafen and mute themselves, please.
Oh, god damn it.
Well, it's your turn, Thanatos, for the freaking weird dream sequence bullshit.
I'm not sleeping.
Close
Oh,
enough.
hang on a second. Ah, shit.
Deafen as well, Liminia. There you go.
I get there. Okay.
The
Right, mute. Where the fuck's the mute?
deafen
Here.
button, it looks like a
Deafen
pair of
button.
headphones.
There it is, I found it.
Very good.
All right.
Alright.
All right.
Alright, you bastard. What do you got?
Well, as you are standing there, keeping watch, you notice that you realize that the silence that I had been talking about is way too intense.
Oh,
You should be able to
fuck's
hear
sake.
something. You should be able to hear your fire crackling, but it's not making any sound. And in fact, after a moment, you look down at it and you realize the fire has gone perfectly still. You look up.
WTF?
You look up at the snow, and it's stopped falling in place. Time around you has gone completely still.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
How do you wish to react?
Well, this is interesting. Time appears to have stopped. Takes some powerful magic to do that. That's not good. Is anybody there?
Nothing answers.
Ah, the silent treatment. Well. You know, it's rude to keep somebody waiting.
Suddenly, as you say those words, a powerful gust tears by you, and Your hair is swept back and your cloak flares out behind you. It's hard to stay on both of your feet. You're forced to bring your arms up to cover your face, and all of a sudden you feel your cloak become unclasped from your shoulder and it goes flying off from your back.
But no! I try to grab for it.
Well, as you turn around to reach for it, you suddenly stop as you realize there's a figure there just at the edge of the light. His hand reaches out and catches the cloak as it's about to go flying by him, and he holds it there, arm outstretched, cloak billowing in the wind. You can't really make out details, it's just a silhouette.
Who are you?
Oh, come now, Thanatos. You remember me. He takes a couple steps forward and into the light of the frozen fire, and there you see Caius Artorial. You see your master. Great sword on his back and everything. His dark-colored armor is all there. Most of his face is covered by that dark purple cloth mask, leaving just his irisless, dark, deep eyes with their hard eyebrows to stare right back at you.
Master?
Were you expecting someone else? He throws the cloak back at you.
I catch it, but still have this wide-eyed look. I don't understand.
Of course you don't. You're not ready to understand just yet.
Did you do this?
Freeze time? You could say something to that effect. He walks over to the campfire, gets down onto one knee and swipes his hand through it. His hand doesn't burn and the flames kind of distort as his hand passes through it and then immediately freeze back into place once their movement is complete.
What sort of magic is this, Master?
It's not for you just yet. He stands back up and turns to face you, crossing his arms over his chest. So, aren't you going to ask the obvious question?
Where have you been, Master?
That's what I was waiting for. He kind of gives a quiet chuckle and slowly starts walking around the fire. I've never been far, if that's what you're wondering. I've been watching, seeing how you've developed on your own.
Master, why did you leave?
Because I had to make sure that you could stand on your own 2 feet, without a hand to hold yours.
Well, why didn't you say anything? You just left me.
Life will throw all kinds of curve punches at you, Thanatos. Surprises both nasty and supreme. If I had told you that I was planning on leaving, you would have had time to prepare and make ready. Life will not give you such courtesy, so why should I?
That is true. It's nice to know you haven't changed, Master.
He glances to all of your sleeping companions. I see you have acquired some new friends.
We just sort of ran into each other.
I noticed. As I said, I've been watching. He lifts his gaze back to you, and his eyes narrow a bit. I have to say, I am both impressed by your progress and disappointed.
But why?
Well, you've proven that you are capable of standing on your own well enough, and you have shown a tremendous amount of resolve in maintaining your search for me even after all this time. You haven't backed down, and every time you were knocked on your ass, you stood right back up and kept going, just as I drilled into your skull from day one.
Sometimes literally.
Now, as things stand, however, I can't help but question some of your judgment calls since arriving in Marasu.
Master?
Think back. to the fight you had by the river just yesterday with the cultists.
I don't understand. We did fine.
You won, yes, but you let one of the cultists go. He was mortally wounded, an easy target, easily taken down, but you let him run off back to his own master with his tail between his legs, to tell of you. Up until this point, every single cultist you have crossed paths with has died, making sure that their master could not learn more of you and yours. Yet then you let this one go. What could happen now that he's out there? What if he makes it back to Marasu? What if he informs his master? They'll know about you and your companions now. They'll be able to fight back far more effectively and prepare. What happens if they set a trap that you won't be able to get out of? What happens if they launch an attack that you aren't ready to defend against? What if they find a way to counter you? If that happens, if that moment of mercy from you and your companions spells the doom of many others in Marasu because you weren't able to fight back, how many families will die like yours did?
You're right.
Mercy is a good thing in moderation, but you need to understand when to exercise it. I want you to give that some serious thought moving forward, Thanatos. He uncrosses his arms and turns around and starts walking back out of the firelight. I won't be far. Don't disappoint me.
Yes, Master.
He walks out of the firelight, disappears. Feel a bassy boom in the back of your head, and time resumes, and Caius is gone. Get everyone else back in here. Whew, I need to take a swig of water. Darkness.
Yeah. Just waiting for the other two to come back. What are they doing?
Lumina.
Please say they haven't ditched.
They're deafened.
I highly doubt. Honestly, I hope Tom's paying attention because he's do not disturb and he may not get the pings.
Oh, right. Hey. Well, look.
There we go.
Oh, hey. There we are.
There we are.
Welcome back.
So, plot.
Plot happened,
Yep.
yes.
The plot happened.
I'm noticing a theme of you giving us plot whenever the rest of us are asleep.
That won't be a thing that happens with the other two members of the party because their backstories won't permit that.
Yeah.
Mm.
No plot armor, thanks.
All right, so Thanatos' shift comes to an end. Moving on to Rocket. Any interactions you wish to have?
None that I am aware of.
Yeah, if any interactions happen here, Thanatos will probably be the one to kick it off.
Nah, just I'm really quiet and just.
Oh, great, now there's two of us.
I say blame Tom.
Oh boy.
Time for some awareness check.
Oh, boy.
He's going to want to talk to you.
Ooh, another 9. All right. Rocket, your watch is uneventful, and it comes to a close as the sun rises. Still snow falling from the sky, but it's otherwise pretty peaceful. Rest of you start to wake up. Thankfully, the snow hasn't started sticking yet, though you imagine that if it keeps snowing, which it looks like it will, it's very thick and very dense cloud cover, you imagine it probably will start sticking tomorrow, if it keeps going.
Nee gives a rather loud yawn as she wakes up, kind of leaning forward and seeing their surroundings now that it's daylight and it's actually see 5 feet in front of your face.
Yep.
I look down Nee looks down towards the others, kind of seeing what they're doing.
Well, what is everyone else doing? You're all awake, so give me something here.
I was just scavenging about looking for anything we could take with us, like food.
So,
I snuff out the fire.
so you're like foraging for supplies or something?
Yep.
All right, roll me a nature check.
Wouldn't that be a scavenger check?
No, according to this, like foraging for supplies in nature would be a nature check.
Okay, so there's 2 d6s for me.
All right. It's grass and rock. Nothing about it.
Yeah. That's the last time I'm using auto.
Oh my!
How about rocket before I do a thing?
Hey, Rocket, you doing anything?
Let me see.
So,
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
All right, 11. Okay, yeah, I can work with that. So, Rocket, you kind of sniff around for a minute, and your nose catches a whiff of something that makes your mouth water. You shuffle a bit further away from camp, and you soon find a small batch of wild mountain geishel greens.
Sweet.
Are you going to eat them, or are you just going to pick them?
Pick them.
Okay. So go ahead and add some of those to your inventory. Let's say, give me a second here. Get 5 pieces of geishel greens.
Awesome.
unless there's anything else, Nee, seeing that Thanatos is down by himself, tending to the fire and snuffing it out. The other two are out scavenging, and I'd say kind of probably looking a bit lost while Rocket's wandered off. Nee hops down from the tree, kind of looks around a bit with like a small bit of a look of uncertainty before wandering up behind Thanatos and kneeling down next to him. Hey, I just want to thank you for yesterday.
And Thanatos is kind of quiet at first and doesn't notice her right away. He's like, oh, Nee, I'm sorry. What was that?
I was just thanking you for yesterday. I'm a little messed up right now, and talk was nice.
Oh,
Usually I have my sisters around for things like that. This is the first time I've not.
it's fine. I was happy to help. Siblings sound nice.
They are. They have their moments, at least. Are you alright? You look kind of distant.
Sorry, I just didn't sleep well.
Huh, I know how that feels. Anything interesting?
Not really.
He just nods, kind of gets up, and then goes to have a look around herself while he's finishing off.
All right. Looking for anything in particular, or just surveying the surroundings?
Just general surveying.
All right. I won't necessitate a roll here. It's looking pretty clear. Little ways off in the distance in the sky, you see some birds flying around, circling over something. A bit further out, with your trained eye, you can see a small collection of interesting brown-furred canine-like creatures kind of running through the stones and hills, probably chasing after some small prey. Very interesting looking. They've got these thick brown manes that kind of flow behind their heads.
Circling over something.
What?
So I'm probably most concerned about the bird circling over something because I would assume something dead.
Yeah, probably.
Well, if everyone's done foraging, I guess we move on. The
How
clouds are
far are
building.
we from Marasi?
Not super duper far at this point. Probably get there in say 3 hours if you go at a good pace. And get there by noon.
I turn back towards the others. Alright, guys. 3 hours. We'll be back soon. Pack up what you're doing. Let's get a move on.
Got it.
Alright.
Do you think it was a good idea I let one of the cultists get away?
We all let the cultists get away, but honestly, I just don't want to think about what happened.
Good point. Let's head off out then. Well, I would not like to stay around if this place gets covered in snow. As much as I like it, I don't think it'd be good for us in our current condition.
Indeed. Although, by the way, since everyone just lay down and take a nap, that would count as a travel rest. So if any of you have your HP and MP below max, go ahead and restore up to your max 50%. So like take 50% and add, heal by half.
I believe my MP is all right,
I'm at full, so...
and
Oh.
HP.
All right. Well, you begin the return trip to Marasu. Passes by relatively uneventfully, and soon enough, you round a corner of some of the stones, and the plagued city comes back into view. Just,
Oh boy, this dump.
We have quite a lot to tell them on our travel.
what do you do?
But I think at some point when we all sit down, I think it might be best we gather up all the guild we have and see how much we got, and try to split it evenly between us. What do you say?
I think didn't we already kind of sort through it?
Yeah, you kind of already did that with the gill.
Yeah, we already decided that the whole.
I mean, at this point, when we buy stuff, we're pretty much all together. So
Yeah, we're always like shutting out when we need it. So
we
whatever.
can just pull all of our guild together.
Yeah, and split it out. Fair enough.
All right.
Alright. We continuing towards the gate?
You guys.
I am.
Soon enough, you start passing through those outermost homes. Largely, seem to be closed up at the moment. And you start coming back towards the large portcullises of the Chimeran Twin Gates, the western Chimeran Twin Gate. You can see a few guards up on the ramparts and a couple standing out in front.
Oh, good, it's not all on fire.
Yep. They see your...
Half expecting it to be.
Yep. They see your approach, and one of them steps forward, this tall and hulking, kind of pale, stone green-skinned Galka man. Holds out one of his really big, thick hands and says, "Stop."
Can we help you?
He nods at each and says, "I was informed you were coming back, and you're supposed to prove to me that you're not infected. That was the deal, as I recall."
Do you have a spell at the ready?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean
That was
Alisar?
that was the question.
to who? We can tell it's a question. There was a question mark at the end.
Oh, just to him. Like, does he have like Tom or a white mage or someone ready to scan us?
I mean, we have
If
Alice
not,
here and his help.
I could do it. If there is someone nearby, then let them work their magic.
As of right now,
Literally.
Tam and Mika are working in the palace to study the sample you brought them.
Ah,
Well, Alistair, health bubble.
got it. That's what I'm here for, I suppose.
All right, no need to roll for that. Just
Mm.
subtract an MP for each party member.
Okay.
So that's -4 MP. And he waves his hand. The air around them flickers and glows with this pulsating blue dome that kind of contracts down onto their bodies. And, it flickers in spots, with sort of palish greens and little flashes of yellow, but none of the startlingly violent crimson flashes that the plague elicits. The guard watches this for a moment and gives a satisfied nod. Very well. He turns and looks up at one of the guards on the ramparts. Open her up! The guard nods, ducks behind something, presumably an upper gatehouse, and a couple seconds later, the portcullis begins to rise with great metal rattlings and stuff, and some excess dirt falls off of it. Dust and stuff. You are now allowed back into the city.
I suggest we probably need to head to the palace first. Inform.
Yeah.
I've forgotten the fucking guy's name who's in charge of this place. Lauren Kane, was it?
Laren Kane, yes. That is the...
Laren Kane.
We should inform Lord Laren of what's happened.
I'm just grateful my spell worked earlier when I was poisoned. First time using it. Phew. I was worried I was going to make a mistake, and who knows what would happen to me then.
You've cast Health Bubble before.
I meant the other one, What was it? Poisoning?
Poison,
The other one?
something like that.
Yeah.
The,
That'd be on
cure,
the sheet.
the one that cured his poison when he got bit by the ice goblin.
Oh, yeah, Poisona. Poisona.
That's fine.
Right.
Poisona.
All right. Well,
Almost like Persona.
that is a game.
Yep.
All right.
One I've never played.
Ditto.
Me either.
Me either, but I heard it's a thing.
I've heard Super Butterbuns shouting about it. She's quite enthusiastic.
I know it's you're in a school, but it's anime based, so of course. There's big swords and shit.
And superpowers.
Yes,
Anyways,
it's anime.
well, you make your way back to the streets, passing by the hanging homes as you go. And eventually you way back to the palace. You can see a current guard regiment seems to be about standard as to when you first showed up. You're heading directly inside.
Yars.
Okey-dokes.
Yep.
Well, you head inside and not really any issues. And soon enough, you're entering into the throne room where Laren has sort of made his office, and the guards pass as you come through, or step out of the way. They know you at this point. You step in, and you can see that Laren isn't actually standing in front of the map table. In fact, that's actually been moved off to the side for the time being, and he's actually sitting in his throne for a change, looking over some papers in his hands with this kind of disgruntled frown.
Oh, that's gonna be good. I cough loudly to make our presence known.
He looks up. Ah! You've returned. He sets the papers aside and stands up and walks down to greet you. I was beginning to worry. You were gone for a few days.
Yes, well, we had some issues with the local wildlife, the cultists. We burnt the bodies they were intending to dump in the river, and some bumps in the night.
Bodies dumped in the river. Elaborate, please. All we knew when you left was that they were planning on doing something. We sent you after them.
From the looks of it, it was contaminated with the plague.
Well, they were attempting to contaminate with the plague. They had their barrels full of corpses of plague victims. Most of them were intercepted by a high snogwin that killed most of the cultists and tipped over their cart. We burnt the barrels left. The remaining cultists took a single barrel towards the river to attempt to dump the contents in there to contaminate the water supply. We encountered them, slew them, and then burnt that barrel too.
They'd actually successfully dumped that in the river. Who knows how far it could have spread. We don't know if this plague can infect wildlife or not, so what if it had gotten into fish? That could have spread very quickly.
Well, the high snogwin, as far as we could tell, was infected and ate quite a few.
Well, Thank goodness for that. Well, if that be the case, you've all done a fine job. I have reward prepared for you already. He walks back to his throne and reaches behind it and pulls up, a big sack of gil and chucks it all at you.
Thanks.
Contained within, there is enough gil to increase everyone's gil count by 200.
Ooh, I need some more money because after the water incident, I've been a bit low.
Yeah. Which is why I wanted to share it out, because I still have the bloody most skilled so far.
I now 252. Sweet.
Well, you're the healer, so I imagine most of the potions and shit will be going to you.
And if I did my maths right, 653. Yeah, that's why I wanted to share it out to everyone.
653 in the game. You'll be able to buy one Phoenix down, and that will be about it.
Or, you could buy a suit of tier 2 armor, or...
Because I was thinking of getting some new clothing, which is why I was hoping we get back here. Because mine's probably pretty all wrecked from the encounter with the High Snogrin.
Yeah.
My flight suit is fine, thank you very much.
Lucky you. I wish I could say the same.
Alright, well, once you've all sort of got your monetary situation sorted out, Laren sits back down on his throne, picks up the papers he was reading. Alright. I don't have anything for you at the moment. Things are pretty calm right now, surprisingly. I get the feeling you've dealt enough heavy blows to the cult that they've decided to pull back and lick their wounds. We're taking that opportunity right now to harvest as much fresh water as we can from the river. Vinar is organizing that as we speak. And we have Mika and Tam working on the sample you got them in the library.
Have you managed to find any more of their hideouts?
We've been trying, but it's easier said than done. I can only send out a few men at any given time, and it's extremely risky to send them out. So, none as of yet. Ideally, we'd want to find their leader and take him out. But we don't even know his name, much less where he makes his roost.
I feel like since this plague isn't natural, their leader is less occultic who spread it.
Possible, though it's hard to know for sure until we find him.
Or it.
Or
Let's not think about an it. I've had enough of it's for one day.
I would hate to think what horrifying foe could produce such a terrible plague. If you don't mind me asking, do you know where I could find some better equipment, like clothing or armor? Maybe even a shield, if it's possible.
Well, there are shops, plenty of them down in the 2 squares. I'm sure you can find an armorer or a smithy down there if you looked. I know we have one, I just can't remember its name off the top of my head.
Don't worry, I sure find it.
Breaking character for a moment, is that your way of saying you haven't made a name yet? For it?
It's my way of saying I don't remember what it's called.
Smooth.
Yeah,
Oh,
I just don't have one yet.
Well, bugging me, hang on, I'll be right back. Nature calls.
Alright.
And then Alicia shuts down as he's having Windows update. Again. Strange how he does that when he doesn't have any cyber systems.
Yeah.
So, would that be all then, Lord Baron?
Yes, I believe so. Unless you have some suggestions for actions to take or wish to volunteer for something else, you should probably go and get some rest.
I believe right now rest would be the best course of action.
Well, then don't let me stop you. At this point, I think you've earned it.
A second, my lord.
Yes, Thanatos?
If any of the guard would encounter any more cultists, would it be possible to have one of them capture one alive?
That would risk plague spread.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that to me real quick? I zoned out for a sec while working on the next NPC.
Nice. I asked, is it possible that we can take a cultist alive for questioning?
And then I said, that would risk plague spread.
Not necessarily. Don't forget, the cultists are people who survived the plague. They're not technically infected anymore. It's doable, but the problem is they have a bad tendency of killing themselves the moment we try.
It's possible they still carry it, though, even if they're not truly infected. It seems a risk one way or the other.
Indeed. Something to ponder.
If at all possible you do manage to capture one, let us know. I'm pretty good about getting information out of people.
I'll leave that for you. Normally we Rangers give the prisoners to other people for that job.
Well, I'll keep that in mind. Laren gives a nod. Alright. Good move on.
I take it we're moving back into the town and then to the shops and tavern and shite.
Yeah, if that's what you're doing.
That's what he wants to do. How about Thanatos and Rocket? And when he gets back, Alice, yeah.
Let's say I'll head to the inn. I need a drink.
I love the way Thanatos says drink.
Rocket? Lumina?
Well, I would get some better armor if somebody wasn't spending my money already.
You can always see if you can find someone to repair your rocket boosters.
There's that. I
That
mean,
might actually cost a bit more than I have.
I'd say you need an engineer for that, not a smithy.
Have you tried turning them off and on again?
Off and on again.
Has
Also-
Rocket tried that from the OS?
Oh my god.
I've tried that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, she's tried that and it hasn't worked. It's
Have you tried kicking it?
and
Well,
damage them further.
I don't know how she can technically kick herself, but
Get someone else to do it.
also, I don't know if anybody around here would make armor for a chocobo.
I mean, it's just farting. You could custom commission some. It would take a while to make, but it could be done.
No, she has a fair bit already. I mean, she's half metal.
She's got metal plates, and freaking anybody who tries to get up close freaking gets kicked
Kicked
into
in the
oblivion.
nuts. Yeah. Alright.
Nutcracker.
Let's head back to the town square then. I was assuming Alice will just be following us kind of absent-mindedly.
Yeah.
Yes.